chaotic thing I've ever seen. I mean, it was just, and everyone was so kind. Like, it was wonderful.
Oh, broadcast ended. Oh, no.
Hi, Henry.
Hi.
Hi, Henry.
Hello, everyone. We are live. Henry, can you say hi?
Hi.
Look, it's
Hi.
Conor. It's Henry. Yes.
Alyssa, can you come say hi? No, can you come in here?
Come sit right here. I'll get you set up.
Who's that?
Happy.
Are you happy?
Can you say hi?
Huh?
Hi, buddy. Oh, my goodness.
I don't know.
They seem back that he's getting comfortable on the bed.
Where is he? Oh gosh, I didn't even notice.
Sit here.
Like, Mom, I'm just going to do the video from here.
Hi,
That's
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Yes,
Do you remember Rachel and Henry? Remember we went to the zoo?
Hi, Alyssa. I haven't seen you forever.
Can you say hi?
Can you say, Henry, do you remember Alyssa? We saw them at the zoo in October in Boston.
Do you remember?
We were able to see, I have met all the kids because I met Cooper last April.
Oh, you have, yeah.
Yeah, and
Can you say
Henry
hi?
has met 2 of the kids. So, yeah. Hey.
See Alyssa down there?
Isn't that funny when you think about it? Like how we're all starting to meet each other's kids? Because I've met Conor and I've met Henry.
Yeah.
That is so funny when you think about it. And we're all in different states or different, Alyssa, you're next. I'm coming to meet you, girl.
Yeah.
You want to meet Koopa? Yeah.
I know. We could do.
She would like your house. She very much likes pools and trampolines. So.
Yes. She fit right in
Well,
here.
we got lots of pools in Arizona.
Yes, we do. But you don't want to come in summer, though.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
What is everyone's age for kids? Can we say how old our kids are?
Yep.
Who's
Henry, how old are you? Hey, Henry, how old are you? Can you tell everyone?
Good.
Hold on, listen.
I'm 11 years old.
Oh, Henry is 11 years old.
Oh my
Connor,
God.
how old are you?
Fun is good.
No, how old are you?
All right. We're losing Henry. All right,
13.
buddy.
13.
Connor's 13. He just turned 13 in December.
Oh, wait, when's his birthday?
December 19th.
Okay, so our kids are about a year apart. Cooper's 12.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper is right there.
He's under the blanket.
Ah. Oh, Alyssa has a blanket too. You want to show them your blanket? Go ahead, show it to them. This is her favorite blanket. What's this? It's a leopard. Can you tell the leopard?
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
She's like funny because it's like so hard to buy her new stuff because she like doesn't really like new stuff. She just likes the stuff she already has. But this is like the one thing that she liked that we got her for Christmas. So you just never know.
Like a new blanket, and I will tell you, we have 500 blankets in this house because they're Cooper's favorite. It's kind of overwhelming, but that's one thing we can always buy him is blankets, and he's very happy.
Yep, agreed. Connor too.
Softness. Yep.
Awesome.
And it doesn't matter if it's 120 degrees or not. He'll be under 5 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
So Cooper drives a little batty. He carries comforters around the house, right? We have to like lock him up like contraband. But we'll be going for a car ride, and he'll come to the door with like 3 queen size comforters, and it'll be like 95 degrees in July, and I'm like, a little much.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, we have to in the summertime change Henry's. He always has to sleep with something on. So in the summertime, he sleeps with 2 sheets together.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit heavier, but because his comforters, it's too hot to sleep with a comforter on. So we have to do that. But awesome. Thank you everyone for joining us. Henry was here for a few minutes and left. That was all I knew he was going to last. Conor, do you have a few questions for Cooper?
Yes.
You have questions for Cooper?
Yes.
Oh, you do? All right. What do you want to ask him? We were just watching Cooper's DVD video that you posted where he's got all of his DVD cases laid out on the floor. Conor throws away the cases, and he will put each individual DVD in a sleeve, and then he's got to reorganize and organize and reorganize the sleeves. So he thought it was pretty cool that he laid out all the cases.
And that's so funny because Cooper, I think he has a thing with squares and rectangles because the DVDs just kind of go into a bin, the actual circles, and then he stims on the DVD cases.
See, well, Connor's going to send Cooper the cases, and you send us the DVDs. We'll save some money that way.
Yeah.
Conor doesn't even watch them. He streams everything. So
same.
He keeps collecting them, but he doesn't watch them.
And that's the thing is, like, I've started not buying them new. I just get them from like Savers or Goodwill because I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, good point. Did you have a question for Cooper?
Yes.
What? Ask the question. That's not a question. That's a list.
I'm gonna try and get him over here. Hold on. I'm gonna mute this for 1 second. So you guys ask someone else a question first.
Do you want to read what's on your list? Because it's not really a question. What's on your list? What does it say? You read it. You got to read it louder. Yeah, it says Thomas DVDs and then Thomas DVD pack. That's what it says.
Is that what you want to get, Conor? Yeah.
That's what you want to buy from Amazon, huh? Yeah.
Is Thomas your favorite?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want to say bye? Bye. Thank you for coming and saying hi.
Say bye, Alyssa.
Bye, Alyssa. Thank you for joining us.
Alyssa, how old are you now? I didn't hear it. Is she 26?
She's 26, yeah. Yep. Are you 26? No.
You are so grown up.
I love it.
Is she your youngest, Kim? Sorry.
Huh?
Is she your youngest?
No. She's my second out of 4. So my second oldest or my first middle. I don't know.
Somewhere in the middle.
I have 29, 26, 20, and 18.
Oh my gosh.
No.
And I just have one. So I want to thank everyone for being here. I wanted to do a communication live to talk about all of our kids' communication because I think it's important to talk about. All of our kids are kind of in different areas of communication. And I'm just going to introduce everybody. I'll introduce myself first because I think we have a lot of new people on this page. So I'm Rachel Lack. I am a documentary filmmaker. I live in Arizona with my son Henry and my husband Steve. And Henry was diagnosed autistic right before he turned 3, back in October of 2014. And I've been filming Henry for 8 years. And then I realized 6 months into filming that I needed to show more than just Henry on the spectrum. The spectrum was bigger, so I needed to find more kids. So I found 7 kids in Arizona to film and 3 in Massachusetts. Conor is one of the boys that I film. So I've known Kerrie and Conor for 8 years. It is pretty crazy. I've known Conor for as long as he did not talk. The first time I met him, he did not talk at all. He had little sounds, and now he is fully verbal. So that's pretty exciting, and I'll have Kerrie talk about that. But that is our story. Kate, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Kate. I have a page called Finding Cooper's Voice. Cooper was diagnosed when he was 3.5, but could have been diagnosed much younger. He was entirely nonverbal. He has pretty severe apraxia and just really had no desire to communicate. So it was just a long road of first trying to, get the desire, then to get the sounds, then to find out how severe the apraxia was. He is 12 now. He's right there. He's being just a stubborn little stink pot. So he's just a typical tween, I would say. Cooper has probably the best nonverbal communication of any human I have ever met. there's really no question what Cooper's trying to communicate. We very rarely ever have a struggle. But what I worry about is him communicating in the community if I'm not there. So we do work on a speech device. We work on typing. My dream is texting, spelling, that sort of thing. And but he does have like 25 or 30 words now, and I can understand him. Like, I know the difference between is Dora, donut, or dad. I know, you know, as a mom, but most people wouldn't. And I think, you know, I think he's going to continue to make progress. One of the things I like to say to parents is like, I kind of felt like, you know, after a certain point, it was just going to stop. It just wasn't going to happen. But it's coming. He said his first word at 8. Yeah.
That's great. Kerrie and Conor, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Kerrie. This is Conor. Conor just turned 13 in December. He was diagnosed at risk at the age of 2. And we got his official diagnosis at the age of 3 after a year-long struggle with speech, occupational, and behavioral therapy. He was diagnosed with apraxia at the age of 6. And last summer, he actually lost his nonverbal speech status. So he still has a big delay, but he's officially lost his nonverbal status. So he still sees a speech therapist 4 times a week at Team for Kids. And he gets an hour each day, Tuesday through Friday there. Plus he gets it at school. We also reinforce it heavily at home as well. So he's got ABA therapy that he gets with a therapist named Mandy, who's been with him a little over 8 years now. And she's in lots of our videos. And I am personally, I'm on the board of the Autism Society of Greater Phoenix. I've got my own side business. I work full time as well. And yeah, that's my life.
The shirt.
Yeah, Conor made that for Cooper. Yep,
Awesome.
So that's us.
Thank you, Kerrie. Kim, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Kim. This is my daughter. Can you tell everyone your name? What's your name? Lulu. Yes. This is Alyssa. We call her Lulu. We have a page called Autism Events with Alyssa. We started when we started the journey into like adult services. She was diagnosed when she was just over 2, long time ago. And she's nonverbal, but she also has apraxia, anxiety. She also is a very good nonverbal communicator. You know, we pretty much know what she wants in the house, but like Kate said, outside people won't necessarily know. She says no to a lot of yes to a lot of things that like she doesn't necessarily know what you're saying. So, you know, it can be confusing for people outside because, you know, they might ask her a question and she might say yes, but like it doesn't necessarily mean she knows what you're asking her. She did start at the age of 22 with saying some words, and she's definitely like growing on that. Last night she hurt her foot and she said, "I hurt my toe so bad." Like, she has apraxia, so it's like one of those things that you're like, did she just say that? And then my sister was with her and she turned and she goes, "She just said I hurt my toe so bad." And I'm like, I know. So like it's you know, every once in a while she comes up with like a phrase now. And then what did she say? Oh, I had dropped something on the floor and picked it up. Apparently I didn't do a good job. And she was walking by and she goes, "You made a mess." I made a mess. Yes. And then she got a paper towel and like wiped it up better. And I'm like, you know, so she still is, you know, this is like, she's a lifelong learner. Like, she's still learning. She's still growing her awareness, her understanding. And like her verbalizations have really grown over the last, I'd say, 4 years. Like, amazing. She does have a speech device. She's not awesome at using it. She'll use structured activities. She doesn't very, very rarely will initiate on it. She's just stubborn, and it got introduced at 16, so it's hard because she's already set in her way. Sometimes if something's bothering her, if we bring it to her, she can sometimes show us. But a lot of times, like, it'll be hurt or sad or sick. She doesn't necessarily elaborate, you know, like if she's crying, she'll be sad. And then you're like, okay, but why? And then she'll just kind of hit sad again. So that stuff can still be tricky. And sometimes she'll say something to you now and I don't necessarily understand it out of context. So like that's frustrating because like she knows what she's saying now. And for a long time I was like, it almost sounds like she says stuff, but like, and now I think she was saying stuff for a lot longer than we realized. It's just because we couldn't understand her, I feel like her confidence kind of like dropped. So like she didn't do as much, and now that her confidence is building, like she's definitely doing it more, right? Are you being shy? Are you shy? You're silly. So yeah, that's pretty much that story. So you know,
I love that. Kim, Alyssa gives me so much hope because Henry is when I did my introductions, I didn't tell Henry speaking. So Henry is non-speaking. He has no words or sounds right now. He goes through stages where like, he had a lot. He had about 10 to 15 words when he was about 18 to 20 months, and then he regressed and lost all of them. And he goes through stages where he'll have some sounds. I have heard mom a few times, but once COVID hit, all the sounds and words he had, because he had a few at 8, and I really thought like, oh my gosh, he's going to start talking. COVID hit, and he lost all of his sounds, and we have not heard a sound out of him since about April of 2020. Like it's almost been 3 years. We haven't heard a sound out of him, but his device just exploded. So he now does full sentences on his talker. He knows every word that's on there. We now have conversations. They're not like real conversation. Like he'll just repeat what we're saying. But at least our car rides are no longer silent. Like he will say stuff on his talker, which as you
and I can attest to it. I've been in the car with Rachel, and Henry is amazing on his
really is.
Like blows my mind.
Yeah, he's and like again, all of you guys know that silence in the car is really hard, and
piercing.
You want to know exactly what happened in their school day. You want to, and they just can't. And I know, and even when they're verbal, a lot of times they can't tell us what their day was like. So for him to actually he's now talking, he's using his voice, and it's amazing. So
it was so awesome to see him tell Conor happy birthday, at his birthday party when he just typed it in and happy birthday, Conor.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
I know. It's amazing.
Don't you feel like it's these little, like for me, it's always been like these little things that have kept me going. Cooper did something the other day. So he wants to wear a life jacket. For anyone that follows me, he's just really focused on wearing a life jacket and going boating with Dora and Boots. But it's always just been this. He looks at me 100 times a day and I'm like, you want your life jacket? And he's like, yes. Now it's turned into, he'll go like this. I'm like, do you want your life jacket? And he's like, yes. I'm like, with Dora? And he's like, yes. And then he's like, bah, bah, bah. I'm like, with Boots? And he's like, yes. But I mean, that's communication.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
got to start somewhere.
I know. And each time, like, people are like, don't you get exhausted by it? And I'm like, I don't yet. I really don't.
No, it doesn't get old. It doesn't get old.
Nope.
And it's the only, again, it's hard when they're sick and they don't know how to tell us, or when they're just upset and they can't tell us. Like, we don't know. Are they hungry? Are they sick? What's going on? Did they hurt themselves? What did they hurt themselves? And you're checking their whole body. You're checking their temperature
every day. And,
they can't tell us. And so that's the thing, like, we're working on now is emotions.
And then there's a struggle then there's a struggle when other people are talking and I'm trying to get him to not talk, not make sounds, big shh, that kind of thing. When I'm like, for years, all I wanted to hear was this.
Yeah.
And, now we just need to redirect it and train and teach, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So like, just like with Alyssa, everything, it's going to be a lifelong learning lesson. Everything is. I mean, us as adults, we're still learning lessons, so everything is going to be a learning lesson.
I was at the dentist today with and there were probably 5 other autistic children and teens. And I noticed that the office was like filled with noise. And I wouldn't say any of it was words. It was like happy noises and like stims. And I had this moment where I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, I wonder if someone's like annoyed by this. And I'm like, no. I'm like, this is so great. Like, this is so great. You know? It's just.
And yeah, you laugh that it's usually your nonverbal child that's the loudest in the room. You know, like as they make.
Oh yeah. Nonverbal. It's not quiet.
No. I have like people ask me all the time. Well, Cooper's not necessarily nonverbal anymore, but I have people ask me like, "Is your house quiet?" Like when he was younger, and I was like, "No, I don't know what quiet is. It's not conversation by any means, but like there is noise."
Yeah.
Yep.
Conor, I saw somebody ask a question. What is your favorite Disney movie? Conor.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
Toy
Story 2?
Is it Toy Story 2?
Who do you like the best in Toy Story 2? Which character? Do you like Woody or Buzz?
Buzz.
Buzz Lightyear, I like. Were you what were you for Halloween? Were you going to be Buzz? I can't remember. What were you for Halloween, Conor?
What were you for Halloween? Who did you dress up as for Halloween? You dressed up as Conor? Was it Woody or Buzz?
Buzz.
Buzz? Okay, it's gonna go with Buzz.
Buzz, okay. I wasn't sure, but yeah. I knew it was one of them.
He had both costumes.
Yeah. Okay. I thought so. I thought he had both. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Henry loves Toy Story 2. He loves, but right now he's on to Tangled. He's really liking Tangled.
Oh, I like that movie. So, you know what movie that I just recently watched that's super underrated? And maybe it was just because of the timing. Brave. Brave is so good. Have any of you seen that?
Yes, that one
I don't think I've seen that before.
Circulated into our Henry likes Brave too.
It didn't get the accolades it deserved.
What movie?
Mm-hmm. Our favorites are, we watch The Good Dinosaur a lot, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this. Cooper likes his favorite parts, so he has the remote, so he fast forwards and rewinds, and my little 4-year-old cannot figure it out. Like, it is like, Mom, he's doing it again. I need to see what happens. So we have some issues with that. Yeah. And then we watch Cars every day.
Cars is a good one. Mm-hmm. Henry and Conor went to see a movie together. Conor, what movie did you see with Henry at Christmas time?
Santa Claus.
Yep, Santa was in it, but kind of at the end.
I know.
What movie was that? What movie did we go see at the theater with Henry?
What movie you like? Oh, which one? Can you tell me?
That is Cooper's favorite movie of all time.
Polar Express. That was so fun. And they were both, honestly, it was the best to watch the two kids get so excited. And then there's Kerrie and I singing all the songs because we know it all.
Because we've seen it a million times.
Conor and Henry were both stimming and getting so excited at all the parts and jumping up and down. It was so cute to watch them watch it together. It was
okay. So living this autism life, do you ever feel like you never see certain parts of movies? I don't know if this will make sense, but like,
yes,
I feel like it took me like 5 years to the end of the Polar Express. Like, I didn't even know what happened. I'm like, what happened?
Well, see, not me. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. So when he goes to sleep, I'll still sit there and watch it myself.
So good.
But yeah, that frozen lake scene, I have seen that more times than any other scene in any other movie ever.
Ours is the hot chocolate song. Like,
oh yeah, that too. Anything with a lot of action and a lot of movement.
We did the Polar Express, like the train ride, 2 years ago, and like I didn't know how she would do because it's hard to gauge, and she loved it. Awesome. And they performed everything like because it was kind of like, I mean, I was a little overstimulated, to be honest.
Yeah.
But she loved it. She did really well, and she it was good. So you just don't know sometimes until
you don't know.
Gotta keep
you have to try. We always try everything once.
Yeah,
We try
exactly.
to, and if they don't like, if Henry doesn't like it, then we just don't do it again. We have a question. Kerrie, what was the criteria that changed Conor's diagnosis from nonverbal to verbal?
Great question.
Honestly, I kind of just went to all of his speech therapists that were currently working with him. And I said, would you guys consider Conor to be nonverbal still? And they all consensus, even without even talking to each other, they all said no. I think the one comment that I got in regards to that was the fact that he was able to verbalize a certain percentage of the words that were in his goals. So I think that particular one went by percentage, but the other ones I really didn't get any kind of response for. They just kind of said, no, I would consider him verbal with a severe delay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Because I don't think Cooper probably is either. But don't you feel like maybe Kim can relate to this too? Like it kind of reaches a point where it's like, I don't even know what we are anymore. Like, does that kind of make sense? Like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, because in Minnesota, it's like, it's by levels and it's like, I don't even know what we are anymore. We're just Cooper. I don't know.
I mean, I still consider her nonverbal just because of the fact that she can't necessarily, like, she couldn't have a conversation. Like, she got slapped at school the other day and had a handprint on her back. And, like, when they, like, so he was having, like, a behavior in the hallway, and Alyssa just happened to be, her group was walking down the hall, and she just got, the person just lashed out, and Alyssa was just there. But when I got home, I said, "How was school today?" Good. Did anyone hurt you? And she can't tell me that. Like, she can't, whether she like realizes it happened. I'm not even sure if she like fully realized it happened because it was like behind her. She couldn't tell me, even with her device, she really couldn't tell me that. So it's like she can say words, but I wouldn't say that she. I mean, we have our like own types of conversations that are like different than other people's conversations, but we now have a back and forth, which we never had before, which is like awesome. But like, she couldn't like communicate something to somebody else. So that's just kind of like, as far as like her needs being met by other people too. You know what I mean? Because I had a van driver ask her, can she be dropped off alone? And she said yes, because she doesn't. Yeah, I mean, if you say it in like a nice tone of voice, she'll probably say yes. Like
Cooper says yes to everything, and then if it's a no, typically he'll change it maybe like 20 seconds later. So like we can get going. Like, have a good day. Yeah. Did you play with friends? Yeah. Do your birthplace begin? And then it's like, I'll be like, do you want a bowl of broccoli? And then it'll be like 10 seconds. And he's like, no.
Yeah. So no is like 100% accuracy. When it's no, it's no. Yes, I feel like, because I feel like yes could be like there's I don't know, there's so many variations of yes, which she doesn't really understand the concept of. But I notice when I do, sometimes when I want to ask a question, I'll say yes or no. It's like she's able to better do that. Like I'd be like, oh, did you do art? Did you do this? And everything's yes, which I know she didn't do everything. But if I say, did you do art? Yes or no? Then she can be like, no.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So recently,
it's the same with Conor. We kind of have to give him the multiple choice kind of things that we almost already know the answers to.
Yes.
And then we can kind of just judge that response off a yes or no, or this or this or this. It's more multiple choice.
He knows no. I mean, she said no before she said any other words. I mean,
she said it's their least favorite.
So
Henry still has a hard time with yes and no. He'll say, instead of saying yes and no, he'll say more. And then his all done is like his elbow. He hits his elbow. And so he'll say all done when he means no. All done means like all done, no.
Cold.
But he has a hard time saying yes and no still, like answering those questions. Like, I don't know if he necessarily understands those. I mean, he understands everything we say, but when it's answering questions, I don't know what he understands and stuff.
I think no is just like for her an easier concept for her to understand. Like when she doesn't want something, she's very clear about that. But like yes is a little more like, I'd say it's like
Great.
Like 60% of the time I'll say it's accurate, but then if you said something in a really nice voice, you would just say yeah, because like you know, she's going by tone of voice, your facial expression, what's going on around you. Can you tell them? Can you say no? You say no really good. Say no.
No.
Yeah. Can you show them yes?
Yay.
And then she'll usually sign yes too when she says it. Oh, hold on. Go ahead, do it again.
Yay.
Oh, I can't get your hand in there. Go ahead and do it again. Say yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Alyssa, what's your favorite animal?
What's your favorite? What animal do you like? What animal do you like? What's that? Tie, yeah. You like tigers? What about leopards? Leopard, yeah. We went
Is that all new, Kim? Like like leopard's a big word. Like, is that her new?
So leopard. We went to Florida over the summer, and we did see a leopard at Animal Kingdom, and all the way home she was saying something, but repeating it over and over and over. But we didn't know what she was saying, and sometimes it's something, and sometimes it's just right, you know. So then finally, when we got home, I realized she was saying leopard. And now, like, yeah, but now she has like phrases that she'll say. So she'll say, "No leopard, okay," and I don't know, and she'll just say it constantly. But I don't know if she like means that or no. We'll go.
It's kind of like an echolalia, yeah.
And then she's just like, yeah. She has she repeats a lot of what you say now too. But it's like now that we understood leopard, it's like now it's in like the word box, you know. It's like I feel like
did you ever think, Kim, that would never come? Because like even with the progress Cooper's made, like I still, even with my most positive hat on, I still can't really imagine him repeating phrases.
By 18, when there was no words, and so she had some verbalizations like fahaya, fabide. Sometimes she could say like mama and dada, but I don't think she necessarily knew that I was mama. I would just say mama, and like every once in a while she could say it, but then like you wouldn't hear it again it could be a month later. So at that point, I mean, no, I didn't think it would ever happen.
I can't even imagine. Like listening to her, I think the pies.
Well, even I was talking to my husband today when she said like earlier I said the two phrases she said, and it's like even now I'm not trying to be negative, but like I don't feel like she'll maybe fully do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, but what she does now is fine. I mean, I said to him the other day, I was like, it's almost like I forgot that sometimes I forget that she didn't always do this. Like to think that it's only been 4 years that she's been doing this is crazy. Yeah. But now,
so is her verbalization like completely random? Like sometimes she doesn't say anything, and then sometimes she all of a sudden says.
So a lot of hers is
on the floor.
A lot of hers is prompted, mostly. You know, like, do you want? Oh, you want a cookie? What do you say? And then like she'll go, I want cookie. You know, when she's really motivated, like the other day she was standing in front of the freezer, and I said, "What do you want?" And she like a lot of times she just will like be like, "You figure it out," you know. And then she said, "Ice cream," and I was like, "Oh, good," you know. So it's like it's slowly coming. She's slowly initiating sometimes, but like it's mostly prompted. But and then when she does these like repetitive phrases, I think it's almost like practice. I'll hear her in her room even doing it. You know, it's like she's practicing. I think that because she's like, oh wow, they understood that. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like making her more confident. So yeah, no, it's like I honestly I would have never thought it. By 18. Even like 12 or 13, like it was just kind of, but you know, it's like you almost.
Well, you settle in. Like I'll be honest, I can say really honestly right now, Cooper communicates just fine. We're fine, right? And then like maybe I'll have a moment in the car where it's silent, and I'm like, oh, I forget he doesn't talk. I mean, it's almost like you get so used to your normal that I couldn't even imagine Cooper talking. I mean, my 4-year-old. There's not a quiet moment ever. It's 100 words.
Well, and that's the thing. I think when you have other kids in the house, there's so much noise and talking going on that you just, and like they start going, oh, Alyssa wants this. Oh, she needs this, you know, so they start they started helping her communicate. So it's like, you don't even, you know, it's, you just kind of, when you sit there and think about it, obviously it's still hard. Like my biggest thing is like if she's sick or hurt that she can't really tell you. Like that's I think the hardest part about it, you know. And like she was really sick a few weeks ago. And it's just like getting medicine in her and her really being able to tell you like if there's another symptom going on, okay, I can see that she has a fever. I can tell that her throat hurts, but it's like I don't know, I always have that fear of like, you know, their pain tolerance is different. It's just that's the hardest part for me. Like, you know, just knowing that there could be something wrong and she really can't tell you, but I'll tell you, she went to the doctors. She let them flu test her. She let them do a throat culture, which she has never in her life done. Like her pediatrician has to let her do it herself, the throat culture. She won't ever let them do it. Yep. But I think she knew, like she understood that she was, and I was like, oh, we're going to urgent care. And she did not freak out, which she normally would. I think she was like, no, I'm done with this sickness. It's like, get me better, people, like do something. So yeah. So, and we got medicine to her, which we could never do. But I think she was really like getting like, you know, she just was that sick that I think she was like willing to do it. So yeah. I know.
Yeah.
She's
so
really
with Conor, he being just the two of us here in the house, I've always stressed. I mean, several years ago, I asked his speech therapist at the time. I was like, "Do you ever think he's going to talk?" I said, "What is your gut telling you?" And she said, "My gut is telling me that he's not going to be able to have a conversation like you and I are having, but he'll be able to tell you his wants and his needs." And I'm like, no, that's not acceptable to me. So at that point in time, that's when we pressed everything from reading and writing to sign language to anything, any form of communication was what I was looking for. And then whatever stuck at the time. So right now he's at the point where he can read and write. He can use his AAC device. He can text on his phone and go to the notepad and tell us what he wants. And, you know, it's the verbalization. I had his IEP at school last week, and they told me that they didn't even know that he had an AAC device. And I'm like, first of all, this has been in his IEP for years, but he keeps it in his backpack. He takes it with him. And when he pops it up, he immediately goes to the ABC where he can pull up his notepad. So what's happening is that he's not doing that because he doesn't want to use his talker. He wants to verbalize. But when people can't understand him, they need to find another form of communication. So one of his goals that he's working on at Team for Kids is that they've got a series of questions that they'll work on, and they go around to different people in the facility, and they'll read these questions off a piece of paper, and they'll try and get Conor to answer the questions in full sentences. And if he can't get it, you know, it doesn't count. So Thursday, he was 6 out of 7 that the person asking the question could get it right. Friday, he was 3 out of 5. So, you know, he's getting better, and each person's going to be different.
Can you give an example of that? Like, give an example of what that would sound like.
Okay, so like Wednesday and Thursday, he sees the same speech therapist named Dana. Wednesday, they go over questions. What did you do over the weekend? What did you do at school? Who did you play with on the playground? Little things like that. So those questions that they go over with on Wednesday, Dana will take those and put them on little strips of paper for Thursday. And she'll go around to the facility and she'll hand somebody a piece of paper, and they have to ask Conor a question that they worked on the day before. So he already knows the answer. Dana knows the answer. They're just trying to see if the person who's asking the question who doesn't know the answer can understand him.
Oh, I love that.
So that person is then reading that question. Who did you play with at recess today, yesterday, whatever it was? And Conor, rather than just saying Patrick, Conor has to say, I played with Patrick at recess. So Dana will prompt him to say the full sentence. And then Dana will prompt the person who's asking the question. If he doesn't understand them, you know, you have to overly dramatize your face. What did you say? I don't understand. Can you say that again? So Conor's then also trying to read verbal cues as well as facial cues. So that's what he's working on to try and help him understand and communicate with outside our bubble.
Oh, that's so good. Kate, you have a question here. What is Cooper's favorite summer activity?
Is it Maria? Hi, Maria. So Cooper is actually sound asleep. He is snoring. I can hear him snoring. Yeah, he has the best life of anyone I've ever met. He loves swimming. So he'll swim every single day. We moved to a house this year or 2 years ago with a pool for the kids. So he swims every day, and then boating. So we go in our boat a couple times a week. And so pretty much anything water related is his favorite, which is pretty common, I think, with kids on the spectrum. They love water.
Yeah, she loves the water.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'll tell you, his new school, he started a new school a couple months ago, and he gets to swim twice a week.
That's awesome.
And I mean, it's like changed his life. I mean, it is the biggest motivator. It is the biggest, I mean, it's just so life-changing to have these things that they can do.
Well, it sounds like that new school has completely changed his life, not just the pool. That new school sounds pretty amazing.
Yes.
It's so funny because, I mean, these schools are 5 miles apart. Same district, same buildings. I mean, they mirror the same building. I mean, same building, same model. It's like, how can it be? But the teacher he has been teaching in the level 3 class that he's in. She's been there for like 13 years, and she's nominated for Teacher of the Year. Like, I mean,
nice.
She said to me at this conference, she goes, "These are kids first." And she's like, I think that gets lost in special education. She's like, and there's other educators I know that are great, but that they teach the whole class. And she's like, my kids can't do that. So I teach one-on-one, and then we come together. And I was just like tearing up because
it makes a difference.
She gets it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I just, when we go back to like communication, like, and you know, I don't share this a lot, but like, you know, Cooper started, he has to communicate non-verbally that this was really bad and that he was in trauma. He started having potty accidents 3 a day while awake. That's trauma.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you go back to it, it's like, he couldn't tell me even though they were taking his speech device away. I was told that by the director of ed, that he was having a meltdown and they wouldn't give him his device.
Oh
but
my
let him
gosh.
communicate. And I'm like, he can't tell me any of that. Every morning he was like, bye, I'm off to school. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's so hard.
It makes a difference when they go to a great school. And Henry goes to an amazing autism school. Conor goes to amazing autism school here in Arizona. And like at Henry's IEP, they're telling us all the things that Henry's doing that I didn't even know he could do. He's reading, he's typing 4-letter words that I didn't even know he knew. Like he's mastered already 25 of those words, which I need to start going over them with him. But he's reading and writing, and that, you know, that I know the device, the tablets, the talkers help with that because they see the words when they're pressing it. So I know that he's been able to read for a long time, but we just didn't know. So it's amazing that the teachers are able to tell us that, and this is what he's doing. And they're working on life skills, but they're also working on all these academic skills that I kind of put to the back burner, because a lot of times with autistic kids, we want their life skills. We want them to be independent and also work on academics. But for me, I want him to be as independent as possible. But knowing that he's doing math, he's doing spelling and writing, you know, he's not really writing, but he's typing. And that's the most important part. Is I want him to be
our kids. They can't show us what they know. So we had something very similar.
I was just going to say that.
Grade. We had a teacher say to us, I went in for his first conference, and she's like, he's doing math. He can read. He can do that. It was just amazing. But what I will say about that is, I truly believe our kids love, like Thomas the Trainer, YouTuber. These videos that they watch are so focused on teaching that I think that our kids can probably read and spell long before we even had any idea.
Yep. For when Conor was a baby, one of his baby shower gifts was that series of videos called My Baby Can Read.
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't put that on probably till he was like 3 years old or so. I guarantee you that's how this kid learned to read.
Yeah.
Because you would see a picture of an elephant, you would see the word elephant, it would break it up, you know, into each different syllable. And then that's how he read it. So he would watch those videos, and we would take, you know, full-size pieces of paper and write the word elephant on it. And we would lay it all over the floor. Different things, you know, elephant, book, ladder, and just the words. And we would say, go find me ladder. He would look on the floor, and he would pick up the word ladder and then bring it to you. I'm like, this kid knows how to read, you know, and I guarantee it's from those videos. It's, you know, and they're saying, take away the screen time, take away this. I can say, I can see, take away the gaming, that kind of stuff, you know, limit that. But you can't take away things that our kids are being educated on, you know, the things that they're learning to read and to learn colors. And I mean, I'm watching some of these, these Dora things, and I'm like, he's learning about the Incas.
Same with Cooper.
I wouldn't have thought to teach him about Incas, but yet he's learning about Incas from Dora.
Also, don't you think too, it took me a while to realize this, but there are many instances where Cooper learns better from a screen than from a person. And I don't know if it's just because the screen is, I think that Dora's his friend, and Dora's like, hey, we're going to climb Word Mountain today, and we're going to do this. And it's like, I'm sure he's like, okay, let's do it. Where maybe I would do that, or a teacher, like, it just doesn't register.
I think the visual component, like they're so strong visually, a lot of these kids are. So it's like seeing things is just very different for them. Because she would do things like, we'd talk about, like, she went to the doctor's that same night. She was on the computer looking at babies getting shots, like just different things that in the beginning were like, is this a coincidence? Because this is before iPad. So she was like on a regular computer. She couldn't type. She didn't know letters, but somehow she would find these related videos that were kind of related to something that we either talked about or that happened. And and obviously she could do it really good on her iPad. But and that's what I was going to say, Kate. You reminded me, like, these kids know so much more than they can show us or let us know. I discover stuff that she knows all the time, and I'm like, I mean, I believe in her a lot. Like, I'm like, nope, she can do this. She knows this. She's extremely smart. Like, I've always said it, but like, you have to be realistic at the same time. So like Rachel did this song thing over Christmas with the Christmas carols. So I literally said to her, one of my friends, like, I was like kind of like down about it. And I was like, we can't participate in this. She doesn't even have words. How can she like sing a song? You know what I mean? And I kind of was like, thinking about it. And I was like, let me figure out a way to do it. Because if I say, I love you to the moon, and she'll say, and back, so it's like she, so I'm like,
that's awesome.
If I can teach her Jingle Bells. So I went and taught her Jingle Bells, and we would do like jingle bells, jingle, and she would say all the way. And then she picked it up really fast, right? So we did the video, and
she did amazing.
Yeah, I said to my husband, I'm like, oh, she picked it up so fast. And then I said, maybe I can teach her Rudolph. So I started singing Rudolph, but just for the hell of it, I didn't say the last line. Every last word of Rudolph she knew. And I said, oh, wow. So I said, let me try Frosty. Every last word she knew.
Oh, I have goosebumps.
And then I'm like, and then we did like, we wish you Merry Christmas. She knew the last word of that. And then I'm like, well, maybe she's like really good at figuring out the rhyming words. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Maybe she's just figuring out what the word is.
Yeah.
So then I did deck the halls with balls of holly, and then she went fa la 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 la, and I'm like, what the F? Like, what is happening right now?
She's a closet show tune singer. Like, she's like, speak it out.
It's like, you don't really have her sing because she doesn't have the words. So it's like, and yes, she watches videos. She loves music. And I mean, there's her and 3 other children that, obviously watched all these shows. We sang songs when she was younger. So I said, I wonder if she knows any other songs. So I go, twinkle, twinkle, little. Tell them, ready? Twinkle, twinkle, little. How I wonder what you up above the world so high, like a diamond in the tongue. Right? I just kept like just belting out songs, and she knew. Sorry for my terrible singing, guys. And she knew the last words, and then just for the hell of it, I'm like, you know what? Let me see. And I just did, baby, hit me one more, and then she goes, time. Yeah. I'm like, what the heck is happening? And I would have bet you $1 million that she did not know. If you were like, oh, do you think she knows song lyrics? I'd be like, no.
Kim, you've got to do more reels. You got to do reels with her singing.
I do have one of her doing
oh my gosh,
My Little Sunshine, right? And I'm like, this has been locked inside of her without me. No, and then it makes you feel like, not that I'm a bad mother, but like, I'm like, how does she know this? And I have no idea. How long has she known?
Know,
right?
You didn't know.
It's just like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, and then she's like, leave me alone.
That is the coolest thing I have ever heard. Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
I mean, we were just in shock. Like, oh, also the Pledge of Allegiance she knows.
Yeah.
Yep. I said, let me see if she knows this. And like, she probably did that in school, like over the years,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I would never
She's
thought.
just back there smiling it up. She's like, geez, mom.
She's like, what she goes, yeah. And it was like the second we started doing it, she was like, you could tell that she was like so happy to show us, you know? So it was just, so they know so much more than they can tell us, you know? And we know that. It's like, right, you know that about Cooper. You know that about Henry.
To ask everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's like this, it's like it's everything, right? Like, and that's where I've often felt, you know, it's
she'll laugh at like the most like, I'm like, how did she know that was funny? You know what I mean? It's like they like do things at like the, you know, the weirdest times, and you're like, did she just understand that? And it's like she does just understand so much. But there's a lot that she gets verbally. She gets very like, she does get confused the more words you use. So it's like you could give her a very simple command and she doesn't understand. But like then she can like, she understands days of the week. She goes to school Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you dare say mention school on any other night of the week, she'll flip out and be like, no. How can she figure out? It's like, how do you know that you don't have school until Wednesday? I mean, if I had work on Wednesday, I probably wouldn't show up because I would think it was Tuesday or something. I mean, so I never thought she had I found that out during the pandemic. And I'm like, you know, months and days, like, how? But she does.
One of the things Cooper started doing is he tattles on his siblings. And he's nonverbal, but he lets us know when they are being naughty. And it's like, he'll point, he's like, he like, lets us know. And I think that's a big part of development. Like knowing when something's naughty and tattling.
That's neurotypical right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He is surprised, and people are surprised by this, but he is very much a rule follower. I think people hear autism and they think, you know, all over the place. He likes things pretty buttoned up. And I'll say things to my 10-year-old, like, pick up those blocks. Pick up those blocks. Pick up those blocks. You know, Sawyer will be a little SHIT and won't do it. Cooper will do it. You know, he's just
Connor's by the book too, and he's got his little routines too. But I can tell you, he's got an evil side. He is very, very mischievous, and he will look, and he will go do the thing, and then he will look back. Is she still watching me? Oh yeah.
Henry does that look too. He'll look at me and I'm like, did you just do that? And he's like looking right at me. He's like, did you see me do that? And he'll do it again and he'll look at me and he's like, I'm doing it, Mom. I'm doing it. I'm like, are you doing that?
And like on the inside, you're like, this is so typical.
I know. It makes you proud.
She waits for me to go to bed, and as soon as she hears my door shut, she comes out of her room and goes right for the freezer for the ice cream.
Atta girl.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're closing in on an hour.
I have to hop off. I can hear my family screaming.
Is there anything else you wanted, just a quick like little thing you guys want to say, or should we just say?
The only thing I really want to say is that for anybody out there, don't give up. Keep trying. If it's not working, find a different method. With Conor, the PECs, he was past that. Let's find something else. Let's try sign language. Let's try reading and writing. But for somebody to say, I don't think he's going to be able to have a conversation, that was just not acceptable to me. And we were looking for anything and everything to try. So if something's not working, try a different method.
And don't get hung up on like, sorry, Kate, that like they won't do something by a certain age because she started talking at 21. I mean, who would have thought that? They told me if she didn't do it by 9 or 10, it would never happen. You know, so it's like they don't have an age where they do things. They do things in their own
Agreed.
time.
And my thing is that's really helped me is like, it's not one size fits all. So like, I remember thinking naively, like everybody talks, that's how we communicate. And then my mind kind of went to sign language, which was really hard for him. He just doesn't have the hand dexterity to do it. But so I look at it as like a toolbox. So we have some sign, some verbal, some typing, some speech device. He'll show me things that's a big piece of communication for him. That. But it's like, don't get stuck on just one thing. Really, I think try lots of different things and encourage.
Yeah. And for me, I tell people all the time, I was told when Henry was little, get him a talker, a speech device as soon as you can. They are never too young for the speech device. just get it. And that was from my friend Erin at Cree's World. She was amazing, and she helped me get a device and push for that. So your children are never too young. Start them as soon as you can, because it takes a while to get those devices. So start them as soon as 18 months, 2 years. Start them as soon as you can. Real quick, Kerrie, what is Conor's favorite thing to cook?
I would probably say pizza. Pizza or cheeseburgers.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This was amazing.
Thanks for having us.
Let's do this again.
Bye, Alyssa.
Yes, we should do this
Can
again.
we say bye?
All right.
I'm doing this thing really quickly. I'm doing this thing with Adrian and Kerrie where we rotate pages. It's been really fun. We could do that.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
like in a while, next time we could do it on Kerrie's page and then Kim's. It's fun because then we get to reach different people.
Yes, I agree.
Very cool. I like it.
Yay.
All
Okay.
right.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good night. Thanks, everyone.